I had to come on. Too much on my mind. Um, my book, The Virtual War, it just keeps making me think, and I had to look up more people who talk about transhumanism as like a philosophy that they're pushing, and that got me just thinking about this futurist philosophy. It ties in to little tidbits I've been gathering over the years. Like, I had a former friend whose brother was in his 40s, got a pacemaker, and that was about 10 years ago. And I just thought, damn, that's young. And so, just the future of these medicalizations, um, it's it's interesting in light of the recent release of the side effects from one of the makers of one of the shots. And it's crazy because people aren't really talking about it. Like, it's not like I got an email from my former employer saying, "Hey, our clients don't require any mandates anymore. Come back to work. We really miss you." Um no, that's not happening. The mandates haven't ended. For many people. But yeah, the transhumanist situation, this is just one of the books that makes it's like, yeah, this is normal. This is what we do. And when the kid's done fighting this virtual war, which apparently really is just like a game, because his teammate cheated to win. It's not real dead bodies, but they enhance the gore, and so the kid in the game, he has to hear all the screams. We have to see all the horrible stuff on the news. But they're not talking about certain things. It just reminds me of that moment when Darth Vader's mask comes off and he looks weak and gross. He's still just evil, right? Or are we supposed to feel sympathetic to that? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into that too much. But that's what we do here. We're just thinking out loud. We're asking questions. We're pondering these ideas. And part of the transhumanist thing is this concept of life extension. And what is life? What is a person? Um, what does it matter how many years you're doing something if you're miserable while you're doing it? If it's just a means to an end, do you read that? Do you reach that end? Or is that just what continues to make you go clock in every day? Is that you believe you're working toward meeting the end? What's our end? The family values are disintegrated. So there go with it, the family. And these are things I've wanted to reconcile my whole life. And I'm sure it's one of the reasons why I would be, emotionally stunted. because I never knew what a sense of family really was. Had a version of it, and there's elements I've been able to cling to. I've had to work really hard at cultivating those relationships. It's taken me many years of faithful service to my sister so that she will trust me, so that she'll want me around her kids. And I have to be careful because I want to be stern with her children, but I love them and I want them to want to hang out with me. So that's where my practice of patience is coming in. Just learning how to talk to these children directly, in a straightforward manner. Maybe sometimes they don't need to be explained every little detail. But this is something that I think will lead to the maturation of society as a whole. Because if we're going to talk about evolution, I think it has to include psychological development and maturity. And I don't know, these are just things I'm spinning, and I was just really inspired to take some notes. Being humans, we're biological, right? So what if we adopt globally this idea that it's okay to get a pacemaker in your infant. With new ways of war, we think about trench warfare and any old fighting styles. You were face to face, hand to hand. It was physically difficult. And now we can just sit on a computer and be connected to a drone and bomb indiscriminately or discriminately, whatever you want to say. But it's different. It's definitely a different kind of war. And so we are evolving alongside with this technology, but there's still casualties of war. People do die, but more often they survive horrible injuries. So we have adaptation in technology for prosthetics. And that's been happening for many, many years. And you have the Olympics, you have the Special Olympics. So then you have, rules about maybe one kind of prosthetic leg would give somebody an advantage over another. There's all these questions that arise out of those things. So, it's just like taking drug enhancements for superior performance. And that's something I want to allude to when it comes to our future talk on herbal lore, wise women, and wart cunning, because it's a really long path to develop a lifelong relationship with somebody, right? If you want to have a good relationship with your mother and you were a brat like I was, it's going to take many years of humility, acknowledging finally, oh yeah, it's pretty immature to blame every single one of my problems on my parents. I mean, sure, we should look at these things. We should look at traumas. But I fear that, we're we're convincing everyone that trauma is the problem. And you actually get stuck in that place. Like, then you have your excuse, then you have your sob story all the time. And you don't even know that you're on repeat complaining about the same shit every single day. You don't even realize that you cry about every little boo-boo that you get. And you're a fucking grown-up. You know, and I do this too. I have my sob story. And it's like a drug. Like, I'm addicted to many things, many vices. One of them has been a little bit of that, having that sob story. So every day I have to make a mindful practice to count my blessings, because I'm realizing more and more every day I'm a spoiled freaking brat, man. Grow up. You know, but I still want to be connected to those thoughts of childhood and what that's like, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to heal. I'm not going to be able to mature. And I'm not going to be able to help anyone else around me. I'll just alienate them. So I don't want to do that. But I think I have to go mitigate a child thing. Somebody's upset, but we'll talk soon. Bye. Hey, what's up?